Hey, it's Chris here again. It's been about, I guess, an hour and a half. As you can see, we were just here a moment ago, and I left you with this when I just started. I'd mapped out a few horizontal steps, and so I'd named it. And what I was doing is I was starting to create the vertical steps. And so I left you and I said, I'm going to go away and you're going to sit there and I'm going to start the creative process. So I'll tell you exactly what I started to do. I started to think to myself, okay, what is everything that a person needs to get or needs to learn from me? So I always start with the end. Okay, I go, what is everything that they need to learn? So I use post-it notes, and I suggest you do too. So here I am, and I've mapped it all out. I've got a whole heap of stuff that I've mapped out here. It does not matter right now what's on any of these post-it notes, seriously. All they are is just names of different things I need to teach someone. This here was all only me just mapping out the very first step, which when I left you, it was called understand. Okay? Remember the steps I left you with before was understand, uncover, change, and install as my steps for a coach to go from not knowing how to coach to learning how to coach. Okay, you with me? I hope. And so I start mapping everything out, and this was just for the first step, the understand step, and I'm mapping it out. And this is what I do. I'm always asking myself these questions: how clearly can I, how clearly can I explain it? So the reason why I'm shooting this video is I was actually explaining to Harriet, and I was sitting there and I was showing her, okay, this is what I'm doing, is I'm getting everything out, and then I'm trying to chunk it into a way that makes it as easy as possible. I like small steps, and I like it to make sense. I like people to be able to get it really quick. So what I've decided is I've actually decided to change my system. Now this happens all the time, and the only way that you can get this done is by starting to map it out. So I've decided that the first step is actually going to be develop. And that's when a coach needs to develop all their skills. They need to understand what state is, or how to create change, what NLP is, what the laws of success are, what the rules are, the presuppositions of a coach, VAK, the recipe, strategy. They need to develop their skills. That's step one for any coach. Then I've decided that step two is define. And I've already started to map out my model in there. So when I talk about define as a person coaching someone, they need to be able to help the person define. They need to be able to define the person. Because when they start to coach someone, the first thing they've got to do is define who they are, where they want to be, what's stopping them, their meta programs, their rapport structure, their level of consciousness, all these things, they need to be able to define it. And so what I want you to realize is that when I'm creating this system, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. The only way to do that is for me to start getting everything out. And then I decide the last step, and I love alliteration. I love it to always sound good and to look good. The last step is 3, deploy. And what that means is the coach actually needs to be able to deploy the right coaching modality and the right coaching technique, because there's thousands out there. I'm personally master qualified in about 6. And so they need to be able to deploy the right one at the right time. So those are the 3 basic steps. And doesn't that develop, define, deploy, doesn't that sound a lot better than the first model I had, which was understand, uncover, change, install? It's a lot better. It's simple, it makes sense. Okay, so I just want to let you know is that you've just got to start getting everything out. Okay, I'm doing this at live time right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that's an add-on. I don't know what video I'm at right now. But what I'm going to do now, I hope, is to continue to map all the stuff out that they need to learn. And the whole time I'm asking myself these questions. What is it that they need to know? Okay. And how can I communicate this in steps? So what I'm thinking when I do it is I go, okay, well, what is the first thing they need to be doing? And I kept telling her they need to get all the skills. They need to get all the skills. And the word develop came. And then I think, okay, so once I've developed all the skills, and then I ask myself, what do they do next? Okay, well, all the rest of the things, I was like, well, they've really got to know the person, know where the person is, know what's stopping them. And then I decide on the word define. Okay, and then what do they do after that? Well, then they need to freaking do the change work with the person. well, then they need to deploy the change work, okay? And so the whole time I'm taking everything, okay, and I'm going, how can I explain this in simple steps? And so I'm always asking myself, how do I do it? And so this is my creative process. I hope this is a big value because I have never shared this with anybody before, not in real time. So I hope you're really liking it. I'll leave it there. I'm going to go create the vertical steps now. Talk soon.